Listen to me. You don't get in life what you want, you get what you work for. And the reason most people don't get what they dream about is because they've been taught to dream small, to stay comfortable, to play it safe. But I'm here to tell you, dream big. I'm talking dreams so big they scare you. Dreams that keep you up at night. Dreams that make other people laugh until you prove them wrong. When I was homeless, eating out of trash cans, sleeping in abandoned buildings, I still dreamed big. I saw myself on stages. I saw myself speaking to millions. And I didn't just dream it. I went to work. Dreaming big don't cost you a dime, but it'll cost you everything if you don't move on it. Some of you got $1 million dreams with $1 effort. That's not gonna cut it. You gotta grind like your life depends on it, because it does. It does. And let me tell you something. The bigger the dream, the earlier you get up, the harder you go, the more you sacrifice. That dream is not just about you. Somebody's future is attached to your purpose. Stop shrinking your dreams to fit your weight situation. Start growing your grind to match your vision. Listen, every level you climb will demand a new version of you. So wake up, sacrifice, get disciplined, and fight for that dream like it's oxygen. The world doesn't need more people playing small. The world needs you. They're your best. You're bold. Your bold is your biggest. So don't just dream. Dream big. And then outwork everybody to get there. You know what's crazy? People walking around every single day with dreams buried inside them. They don't even realize they're sitting on gold. They don't understand that the dream inside of them could change everything, not just for them, but for their family, for their legacy, for the generations that come after them. But the reason they don't go after it is because they think it costs too much. Let me break something down for you right now. Dreaming doesn't cost a dime. That vision you have in your heart, that idea that keeps you up at night, is free. You don't have to pay for it. You don't need a subscription. You don't need a degree. You don't need a certain background or approval from anybody. Dreaming is free. But the grind, the hustle, the process of chasing it down, that's where the price tag comes in. And the truth is, a lot of people say they want it until it's time to pay. You say you wanted to be great. You said you wanted to be successful. You said you wanted to leave something behind that matters. But you didn't want to stay up late. You didn't want to get up early. You didn't want to sacrifice parties, games, sleep, distractions. You didn't want to invest the time, energy, and consistency it takes to build something legendary. So guess what? You're not going to have it. That's how life works. Life doesn't give you what you wish for. Life gives you what you're willing to work for. It gives you what you have the courage to fight for every single day. When I was homeless, when I was eating out of trash cans, sleeping in abandoned buildings, walking the streets without a clue where my next meal was coming from, I still had a dream. And nobody could take that from me. They could take my money, my shelter, my comfort, my stability, but they couldn't take the dream. And because I had that dream, I had something to hold on to when everything else was falling apart. But listen to me, just having a dream wasn't enough. I had to work. I had to grind. I had to out-hustle every excuse in my head. I had to get up when my body wanted to stay down. I had to speak life over myself when all I saw around me was death and disappointment. And I'm telling you right now, whatever your situation is, whatever struggle you're going through, your dream still belongs to you. It doesn't matter if nobody believes in. It doesn't matter if they laugh at you, if they count you out, if they say you're not smart enough or strong enough or talented enough. That dream is still yours. But the price of that dream is not in the dreaming, it's in the doing. Are you willing to sweat for it? Are you willing to show up every day for it? Are you willing to be embarrassed, to fail, to fall flat on your face, and get back up again with even more fire in your soul? Some of you want something for nothing. You want success without struggle. You want progress without pain. You want victory without the valley. But let me tell you, pain is the price of the dream. Struggle is the currency of success. There are no shortcuts. There's no discount line. There's no buy one, get one free. You've got to pay the full price, and you've got to pay it in advance. You can't wait until it's convenient. You can't wait until you feel good. You got to move even when it hurts. You've got to grind even when it's ugly. You've got to believe even when there's no proof. Every time you show up when you don't feel like it, you're making a down payment on your dream. Every time you say no to distractions and yes to discipline, you're investing in your future. Every time you push past your limits and go that extra rep, that extra page, that extra hour, you're putting equity into something that will pay you back in full if you don't quit. But if you don't make the investment, if you don't make the sacrifices, if you don't put in the time, don't expect the reward. Don't expect the results. Don't expect the crown if you weren't willing to carry the cross. I'm telling you, dreaming is free, but the grind is going to cost you everything. It'll cost you your comfort. It'll cost you your excuses. It'll cost you your bad habits, your laziness, your fear. It might cost you friends. It might cost you sleep. But what you gain, man, what you gain is priceless. You gain freedom. You gain fulfillment. You gain purpose. You gain the kind of life that makes you wake up every day with fire in your soul because you know you're walking in what you were born to do. So if you're still talking about what you want, but you're not moving, not grinding, not sacrificing, then stop fooling yourself. You don't want it bad enough. Because when you want it as bad as you want to breathe, nothing will stop you from going after it. Not your past, not your pain, not your present situation. Nothing. Dreaming big is free, but reaching it, that's the cost. And you better be ready to pay every single day. You've been playing small for too long, and I get it. It's safe. It's easy. Nobody's judging you when you play small. Nobody's criticizing. Nobody's questioning your choices. When you keep your dream inside a little box, when you only reach for what's within arm's length, you don't have to deal with fear, with failure, with rejection. But here's the truth. You will never live a big life chasing small dreams. You will never experience what you're capable of if you never stretch past your comfort zone. I'm not trying to hurt your feelings. I'm trying to wake you up because you weren't born to play it safe. You weren't created to blend in. There's something inside of you that's rare, something divine, something powerful, but you're suppressing it every day by shrinking yourself to fit into a space that was never designed to hold your greatness. And I don't care what your teacher said, what your environment said, what your past said. Your dream is supposed to be so big that it scares you. And if it doesn't scare you, it's not big enough. You see, the problem is not that people don't have dreams. The problem is their dreams are too small. They want just enough to survive, just enough to pay the bills, just enough to be okay. Okay is not your destiny. Average is not your birthright. Survival mode is not where your legacy lives. Your legacy lives in your stretch. Your future is on the other side of fear. And if you keep thinking small, believing small, acting small, you're gonna wake up one day and realize you never lived the life you were capable of, all because you were too afraid to dream beyond what you could control. When I say dream big, I'm not talking about fantasy. I'm talking about vision. I'm talking about the kind of dream that makes you get up at 3 a.m. because the thought of not pursuing it hurts more than the grind itself. I'm talking about a dream so big that people call you crazy, and you're okay with that because you'd rather be called crazy than be called average. I'm talking about stepping into rooms you feel unqualified for, applying opportunities you don't deserve on paper, speaking up when your voice shakes, walking through doors that weren't even built for you, but you build your own anyway. You can't expand your life while staying inside the same tiny space you've always known. You can't grow while staying comfortable. You gotta get uncomfortable. You've gotta stretch so far past what you thought was possible that forces you to evolve, forces you to upgrade, forces you to become the version of you that can handle the weight of big dream. Because here's the truth. The dream is waiting, but are you becoming the person who can carry it? Small dreams will let you hide. Small dreams will let you make excuses. Small dreams won't demand more from you. That's why you like them. They're manageable. They're familiar. But you weren't called to be manageable or familiar. You were called to be impactful, to be unforgettable, to be undeniable. And you can't do that hiding in the shadows, whispering your goals, hoping nobody sees you fail. If you're really about that life, if you really want to live at the next level, you've got to be bold enough to be seen. You've got to be bold enough to try, to risk, to fail forward, to stand up and say, this is who I am. This is where I'm going, and nothing's going to stop me. I remember when nobody knew my name. Well, it wasn't on YouTube. I wasn't standing on stage. I was broke. I was broken. I was doubted, but I still dreamed big. I still saw something greater. And even though my situation didn't match my vision, I never let that vision die. Because your environment is temporary, but your dream is eternal. And if you keep feeding that dream, nurturing it, fighting for it, even when you don't see results, eventually it will break through. But if you settle, if you decide to stay in your little box of comfort, if you decide to be satisfied with it just enough, if you refuse to step out and risk looking foolish, if you choose small thinking and small believing, then you're also choosing a small impact, a small legacy, a small life, a small life. And I don't care who you are. You were not born to live small. The size of your dream determines the size of your life. So if your life feels tight, if your spirit feels stuck, maybe it's not because the world is against you. Maybe it's because you're thinking too small. You're dreaming too low. You're playing beneath your potential, and it's time to stop. It's time to break the limits off your imagination. It's time to see yourself bigger, bolder, louder, more powerful. It's time to stop asking for permission and start claiming space you were born to occupy. The world is waiting on your full version, not the watered down one. So stop dreaming safe and start dreaming wild. Dream so big it changes your life. Dream so big it changes the lives of everyone connected to you. Everybody wants to win until it's time to do what winners do. You say you got a big dream, you want to be great, you want to build something that matters, then you've got to understand what comes with that. Big dreams don't come with easy schedules. Big dreams don't show up at 10 a.m. after a full night's sleep. Big dreams knock at your door while the world is still sleeping. While others are resting, you're rising. While others are partying, you're planning. While others are watching Netflix, you're grinding. This is the truth most people won't tell you because it doesn't sound glamorous. It doesn't fit in a cute quote or a viral post. But let me give it to you raw. Big dreams will cost you your comfort. You gotta get used to being uncomfortable. You gotta get used to being tired. You've got to get used to pushing through when your body says stop and your mind says quit. Because success doesn't come to the most talented. It doesn't come to the ones with the most followers. It comes to the ones who are willing to outlast the rest. The ones who keep showing up, keep working, keep getting back up, day after day, year after year. People love talking about the dream, but very few love the grind. You want that business? You want that platform? You want to be the best in your field? You're going to have to put in the work when no one's clapping, when no one's paying attention, when there's no spotlight, no applause, no guarantee it's even going to work out. And that's what separates the average from the elite. That's what separates the ones who say, I want it, from the ones who show they mean it. There were times I was up at 3 a.m., not because I wanted to be, but because I had to be. I was chasing something bigger than rest. I was chasing something bigger than comfort. I knew if I didn't get up and move, that dream would die inside me. So I got up. I moved, I studied, I spoke, I hustled. And every early morning, every late night, it added up. It built something in me. It built consistency, it built discipline, it built belief. And that's what you need when you're chasing something great. Don't think for 1 second that your dream is going to chase you. It's not coming to knock on your door just because you want it. You gotta go after it with everything you got. You gotta work like you're already behind. You've got to grind like every second counts, because it does. You've got to act like your opportunity might vanish tomorrow, because it might. You want big results with little effort? That's not how this works. You want to do big things? Then you've got to commit on a level most people never will. You got to show up on the days you feel like giving up. You got to train your mind to be stronger than your feelings. Your feelings will lie to you. Your feelings will say, sleep in. Your feelings will say, take a break. Your feelings will say, you've done enough. But your dream doesn't care about your feelings. It only responds to your grind. And let me be real with you, it's not going to be fair. You're going to watch people with less talent move ahead because they worked harder. You're going to see others getting praised while you're still grinding in silence. That's okay. Keep going. The dream is still yours. You just have to be willing to work for it longer than anyone else. This isn't a sprint, it's a war. And every morning you get up and attack that day, you're winning battles that add up over time. You don't get what you want, you get what you're willing to sacrifice for. So if you want to be average, sleep in, chill, waste time. But if you want to be legendary, if you want to be great, if you want to leave something behind that makes people remember your name, then your mornings are going to look different. Your nights are going to look different. Your nights are going to look different. Your weekends are going to look different. And you got to be okay with that. Oh, you've got to be willing to give up temporary comfort for permanent growth. I'm not telling you it's going to be easy. I'm telling you it's going to be worth it. Every early morning when your alarm goes off and your body says a no, but your purpose says a yes, that's when greatness is built. Every late night when you're still studying, still creating, still chasing it when no one's watching, that's when you separate yourself from the rest. That's when you step into who you were created to be. This isn't just about working hard for the sake of it. This is about aligning your grind with your purpose, because when the dream is big enough, the pain is worth it. The long nights are worth it. The exhaustion is worth it. The hustle becomes the pad, not the punishment. So stop thinking you can coast to the top. Stop thinking greatness is supposed to feel easy. Big dreams come with big demands. They ask for more. And if you're not willing to give more, you don't get the dream. It's that simple. Everybody's talking these days. Everybody's posting. Everybody's tweeting. Everybody's telling the world what they're about to do. But I've got a question for you. Where's the work? Where's the grind? Where's the action behind the words? Because dreams without action are just noise. And I don't care how beautiful your vision board looks, or how fire your captions sound, or how motivated you feel after watching a video. If you're not putting in the work, you're lying to yourself. You say you want it. Cool, prove it. Stop telling me what you're going to do and start showing me. Start living it. Stop dreaming out loud if you're not willing to sweat in silence. Real dreams don't live in your mouth. They live in your habits, your schedule, your sacrifice. They live in your ability to execute when nobody's watching. They live in how you move when the cameras are off, when there's no applause, no lights, no recognition. That's when it's real. Too many people fall in love with the sound of their dreams, but they never commit to the grind it takes to turn those dreams into something tangible. You say you want to be a millionaire, but you're not willing to stay up late and study the game. You say you want to get in shape, but you're still skipping the gym. You say you want to be a speaker, but you won't practice your craft. Stop talking. Start doing. I wasn't the smartest. I didn't come from money. I didn't have connection. But I had one thing most people did. I followed up my dreams with work. I got up early. I stayed up late. I studied. I practiced. I knocked on doors that weren't even open yet. I didn't wait for the perfect time or the perfect time or the perfect plan. I moved. I executed. I acted like my life depended on it. Because it did. That's the difference between a talker and a doer, a dreamer and a finisher. One writes it down, the other brings it to life. You don't get points for dreaming. You don't get trophies for talking about potential. You get rewarded when you put in the time, when you build something real, when your actions speak so loud that your words become unnecessary. The world doesn't respond to your intentions. It responds to your consistency. It responds to the grind. You put in day after day after day, even when nothing seems to be changing. And eventually, if you don't quit, the dream becomes real. But some of y'all are still on the sidelines, waiting for someone to hand it to you, waiting for a sign, waiting for a green light. Let me be clear. Nobody is coming to rescue your dream. Nobody's going to care about it the way you do. It's on you. You got to fight for it. You got to build it brick by brick. And you got to stop talking like it's already yours if you haven't put in the work to earn it. I hear it all the time. Eric, I want to be great. I want to inspire people. I want to change lives. Beautiful. Now let me see the calendar. Let me see the late nights you worked while others slept. Let me see the mornings you got up when you didn't feel like it. When you didn't feel like it. Let me see the rejection you faced and still got back up. Let me see the grind. Because that's what it takes. Not one day, not 1 week, but every single day until your words and your actions line up. You've got to ask yourself, am I in love with the idea of success, or am I willing to pay the price for it? Because there is a price. It's not just dream big, big. It's showing up when you're tired. It's sacrificing what's fun for what's necessary. It's choosing discipline over distraction. It's action, not just ambition. I see too many people chasing motivation instead of mastering commitment. Motivation feels good, but commitment gets it done. You're not going to feel like doing it every day. But the dream doesn't care how you feel. Only responds to action. You got to do it when it's hard. Do it when it's boring. Do it when no one claps. Because every step you take moves you closer, even the ones nobody sees. And don't think you have to be perfect to start. You don't need all the answers. You don't need everything figured out. You just need to take the first step, then the next, then the next. Action creates momentum. Momentum builds belief. Belief leads to breakthroughs. But it starts with doing. It starts with doing. It starts with showing up. And if you keep showing up, something powerful starts to shift, not just around you, but inside you. The world has enough talkers. What it needs is more finishers. People who say what they mean and back it up with relentless effort. People who let their results speak. So let today be the last day you just talk about it. Let today be the day you draw the line in the sand and say, if from now on, I move different. I act different. I build this dream like it's already mine, because when your actions catch up to your vision, that's when the dream becomes real. Let me be real with you. You will face obstacles. You will face pain. You will face setbacks. This is not a maybe. It's a guarantee. Every person chasing greatness will be tested. The difference between the ones who make it and the ones who don't isn't about talent or luck. It's about how they respond when life punches them in the mouth. It's about how they show up when nothing's working, when the dream looks dead. Obstacles are not the end. They're not the signal to quit. They are the test to see if you deserve it. Too many people see obstacles as stop signs. The moment it gets hard, they back off. The moment they hear no, they shut down. The moment something doesn't go their way, they start second guessing their dream, but not you. If you're serious about your purpose, if you really want what you say you want, then you gotta rewire your thinking. You gotta stop seeing obstacles as the enemy and start seeing them as part of the process. Bon obstacles are proof that you're on the path to something real. I get emotional about this because I know what it feels like to go through hell and still keep moving. I've been homeless. I slept in abandoned buildings. I failed. I've lost. I've cried. I've broken down, but I never gave up because I made up my mind that no obstacle was going to define me. No situation was going to break me. The dream was bigger than the pain. The vision was stronger than the storm. That's the mindset you need if you're going to reach the top. Obstacles will show up in many forms. Financial struggles, betrayal, fatigue, fear, insecurity, failure. They'll hear when you least expect it. Right when you start gaining momentum, something will come along to try to knock you off course. But that's the moment you find out who you really are. That's the moment you either fold or fight. Most people fold. But if you're reading this, if you're breathing, if that dream still burns in you, then you still got a shot. But you got to decide to fight. You think because it's hard. You're not supposed to keep going? No, that's exactly when you push harder. The obstacle is not there to stop you. It's there to develop you. It's there to stretch you, to grow you, to prepare you for the level you're stepping into. Because what you want, what you're dreaming of comes with weight. It comes with pressure. And if you can't handle the pressure now, how are you going to carry the blessing later? Every obstacle is a workout for your character, your focus, your faith. I've seen people quit with inches left. I've seen people walk away from their breakthrough because things got tough. And it breaks my heart because the only thing standing between them and the dream was the willingness to endure. You've got to outlast the obstacle. You got to be so committed, so obsessed, so locked in that no matter what comes against you, you still show up. You still work. You still grind. You still grind. Because deep down, you know, it's not supposed to be easy. It's supposed to be earned. You say you want to be great. Good. Now prove it in the fire. Prove it when nothing is going your way. Prove it when it looks like you're losing. That's when greatness is forged. That's when character is built. Anybody can show up when it's easy. Anybody can hustle when it's going right. But what separates the few from the many is who keeps going when it's all falling apart. You've got to be relentless. You've got to have tunnel vision. You've got to wake up every day with a decision already made. That no matter what happens, you're going to find a way. That no matter how many times you get knocked down, you're getting back up. That no matter how dark it gets, you're going to be the light. The obstacle is temporary. The pain is temporary. But quitting, that lasts forever. I'm telling you from experience. Some of your greatest blessings will come wrapped in obstacles. Some of your biggest breakthroughs will happen right after your hardest battles. But you gotta make it there. You gotta survive the storm to see the sun. Don't let the obstacle lie to you. Don't let it tell you that you're not enough. Don't let it convince you that it's not meant for you. That obstacle is just a question. How bad do you want it? So I ask you, are you willing to be uncomfortable? Are you willing to be tired, frustrated, doubted, rejected, and still keep going? No, are you willing to suffer a little now to live blessed later? Are you willing to stand when everything's trying to knock you down? Because if you are, then nothing can stop you. Not fear, not failure. Not failure. Not 1,000 closed doors. The ones who win are not the ones with the easiest path. They're the ones who refuse to stop walking when the path disappears. Be that person. Be the one who doesn't stop when it's hard. Be the one who turns obstacles into fuel. Be the one who turns impossible into I'm possible. Because once you beat the obstacle, you want to do something great with your life? You want to build a legacy? Then understand this. If your dream doesn't make you nervous, if it doesn't stretch you, if it doesn't shake you at your core, it's not big enough. It's not worthy of your time. Because a real dream should make you feel like you're standing at the edge of a cliff with the wind in your face, and all you got is faith to carry you. That's when you know you're dreaming right. That's when you know you're chasing something bigger than your comfort zone. Too many of you are dreaming safe. You're dreaming small. You're dreaming inside the limits that others have put on you. You're dreaming based on your current situation instead of your ultimate potential. But let me tell you something. Playing small won't protect you. Playing small won't fulfill you. You weren't born to blend in. You weren't born to survive. You were born to ride, to create, to push boundary. You were built for impact. And you don't make an impact doing what everybody else is doing. You gotta be bold enough to dream of things that seem impossible. You gotta be willing to scare yourself, because that fear, that trembling inside your chest, that's confirmation you're moving in the right direction. Fear isn't your enemy. It's a signal. It means you're about to step into a space you've never been in. It means you're about to grow. And growth doesn't come from safety. Growth comes from discomfort, from risk, from stepping into the unknown and saying, I'm going to do it anyway. When I first started speaking, I didn't have the right suit. I didn't have the perfect vocabulary. I didn't have people backing me. All I had was a dream that made no sense on paper. But that dream was big. It was scary. And it forced me to level up. It forced me to become someone I wasn't yet. And that's what your dream should do. If your dream can be achieved by the person you are today, then it's not really a dream. It's a task. A real dream requires transformation. It requires you to become more, to sacrifice more, to believe more. You gotta ask yourself, what am I leaving on the table by playing it safe? What am I missing out on because I'm too afraid to stretch? Listen to me. Your fear is lying to you. That voice in your head that says, you can't, you can't, or not ready, or what if you fail? That's not true. That's resistance. That's the gatekeeper to your destiny. And the only way past it is through it. You gotta stop running from fear and stop running toward it. Because on the other side of fear is your future. And don't let other people shrink your dream because they can't see it. It's not their dream. It's not their dream. It's yours. Courage appeal. Don't expect people with small minds to understand your big vision. Some people will doubt you. Some people will laugh. Some will walk away. That's okay. Let them. Because the ones who laugh now are the same ones who will ask you for advice later. But only if you keep going. I need you to understand. Fear is not a stop sign. It's a starting line. When your knees are shaking and your palms are sweaty and your heart is racing, that's when you go. That's when you jump. Because everything you want is on the other side of the fear. That's the test. Can you still believe when your voice trembles? Can you still move when the path isn't clear? Can you still rise when everything you wants to run? Don't let fear paralyze you. Let it fuel you. Let it push you into uncharted territory. Let it remind you that what chasing matter. Because if it didn't matter, it wouldn't scare you. The fear means the dream is big enough to stretch your faith. And that's what this journey is about. It's about walking by faith, not by sight. It's about saying, I don't know how, but I believe I can. It's about trusting that the dream in your heart was placed there for a reason. And that reason is bigger than you. But you gotta leap anyway. You got to trust that you will become who you need to become on the way. You got to start with nothing but a dream and a decision and let the rest unfold as you move forward. So today I challenge you, stop dreaming small. Stop setting goals you know you can reach. Set goals that scare you. Set goals that make people look at you sideways. Set goals that force you to grow, to stretch, to become uncomfortable. Because that's where greatness is born. That's where legacy is made. If your dream doesn't scare you, it's not from God. If your dream doesn't make your stomach turn, you're thinking too small. Go bigger, go bolder. Dream so big, it makes you pray harder, grind longer, focus sharper. That's the dream worth chasing. That's the dream worth fighting for. Everybody wants to dream, but not everybody wants to pay the price. Everybody wants the prize, but not everybody wants the process. Let me tell you something. Discipline is the currency. Discipline is the price you pay every single day if you're serious about turning your dream into something real. Your dream is not waiting on more motivation. It's not waiting on a miracle. It's waiting on your discipline. Discipline is that decision you make when the feeling is gone, when the excitement fades, when nobody is watching, when your back is against the wall. That's where discipline steps in and says, I don't care how you feel. We've got work to do. It's easy to quote, it's easy to tell the world what you're going to do. But what separates the elite from everybody else is execution. And execution lives in discipline. Discipline is getting up when your alarm goes off the first time, not the fifth. It's going to the gym when you're tired. It's turning off Netflix and opening your book. It's skipping the party so you can work on your craft. It's choosing what you want most over what you want now. Dreams don't work unless you do. And the work is not glamorous. It's not always fun. It's repetitive. It's boring. It's lonely. But that's what builds greatness. You can't be casual about your dreams. You can't treat this like a hobby. A hobby gets leftovers. A dream gets discipline. Because when it gets tough, and it will, it's not going to be motivation that carries you through. It's going to be your habits. It's going to be the structure you've created. It's going to be the discipline you build over time, day by day, choice by choice. People look at results and want the outcome, but they skip the discipline. They want the reward without the routine. But you don't get the results until you earn them through discipline. Let me be real. Discipline doesn't care about your excuses. Discipline doesn't care if you had a long day. Discipline doesn't care if you don't feel like it. Discipline shows up, period. And the reason you're not where you want to be is because you haven't built the discipline to match your dreams. You say you want to be successful. You say you want to make it to the top. But when I look at your habits, when I look at your schedule, when I look at your daily actions, they don't reflect it. Success is not a random event. It's a result of consistent, focused effort. That's what discipline is. Discipline says, I'll do it again, and again, and again, even when you see no progress, even when it feels like nothing is changing. Because eventually, the breakthrough comes, but only to the discipline. I know what it's like to be tired. I know what it's like to be discouraged, but I also know what it's like to show up anyway. I know what it's like to grind through the pain, to outwork the obstacles, to keep swinging when it feels like you got nothing left. And that's what changed my life. Not talent, not luck, discipline. The ability to stay locked in long after the mood I set the goal in has left me disciplined. It's keeping the promise you made to yourself when you said you were going to write the book, when you said you were going to get in shape, when you said you were going to build that business. Are you keeping your word to yourself? Because every time you break it, you weaken your confidence. And every time you keep it, you strengthen your belief. Discipline builds trust with yourself. Most people don't fail because they lack a dream. They fail because they lack the discipline to follow through. They get excited, but they don't get consistent. They talk big, but they don't move daily. And that's the key. Small steps taken consistently with discipline become massive wins over time. It's not about being perfect. It's about being committed. If you can master discipline, you can master anything. Because discipline will take you places motivation never could. Discipline will make you do what needs to be done, even when nobody claps, even when nobody's watching, even when your emotions try to talk you out of it. And the more you practice discipline, the stronger it gets. It's like a muscle. You train it, you build it, you rely on it. So ask yourself, are you just dreaming, or are you disciplining yourself for that dream? Are you building habits that match your vision? Are you waking up with a plan and following it through when it's hard? Or are you letting your feelings decide your future? Because your dream is not about what you say. It's about what you do daily. What you do when it's tough. What you do when it's inconvenient. That's what determines if your dream stays in your head or becomes your life. The bridge between your dream and reality is built one disciplined day at a time. No shortcuts, no cheat codes, just relentless, focused, daily effort. So build that bridge with precision. Stay Stay committed. People ask me all the time, what's your backup plan? And I look at them and say, I don't have one. I don't believe in a plan B. Why? Because my plan A is my purpose. My plan A is what I was born to do. When your plan is rooted in purpose, not hype, not trends, not comfort, you don't need an exit strategy. You need faith. You need grit. You need focus. A backup plan is for people who doubt their first plan. But when you're walking in purpose, there's no room for doubt, only direction. Let me break this down. People who live with the plan B mindset are people who haven't burned the boats. They're still entertaining failure like it's an option. They say they want success, but they're holding on to comfort. They've left the back door open just in case. But let me tell you something. You'll never fight with everything you got if you know there's a way out. You'll never give 120% if you think there's a plan B waiting to catch you. That's why you got to kill plan B. Set it on fire. Burn the bridge. Lock into your purpose so tight that quitting feels like betrayal. Plan A is hard. It requires sacrifice. It requires patience. It requires everything from you. But that's exactly why it's worth it. Your dream wasn't meant to be easy. It was meant to pull the best out of you. And when it gets hard, when it looks like nothing is working, that's when most people turn to plan B. They take the easy road. They settle. But let me ask you, what happens when you settle? You still feel empty? You still feel frustrated? You still wonder what could have happened if you held on a little longer. That's the cost of quitting. That's what plan B gives you, regret. I've lived this. I didn't have a safety net. I didn't have a trust fund. I didn't have connections. I had hunger. I had a vision. I had a reason. I knew what it felt like to be broken. I knew what it felt like to be overlooked. I knew what it meant to suffer. And I made a decision that my purpose was going to lead me out. I wasn't going to give it 70%. I wasn't going to do it if it works. And that's what changed my life. When you go all in your purpose, something shifts. You stop negotiating with life. You stop asking for permission. You stop waiting for perfect conditions. Because deep down, you know this isn't about options. This is about obedience. This is about doing what you were created to do. And when you're obedient to that, the door's open. Not all at once, not overnight, but they open because your energy is locked into one mission, one direction, one focus. People will tell you to be realistic. They'll say it's smart to have a fallback. But let me tell you something. Some of the greatest people that ever walked this planet didn't play it safe. They risked everything for their dream. They bet it all. They had tunnel vision. They weren't thinking about what to do if it failed. They were figuring out how to make it work. That's what you need. Not a parachute, a plan. Not fear, fire. You got to make up your mind that quitting is not on the table. That you'd rather fail chasing your dream than succeed at something that doesn't fulfill you. That you'd rather go broke in your purpose than rich in your comfort. Because the truth is, the pain of discipline will never match the pain of regret. And plan B almost always leads to that regret. Why? Because it distracts you from giving everything to plan. It splits your focus. It divides your energy. It waters down your grind. I'm not saying don't be strategic. I'm not saying don't be wise. What I am saying is this: stop entertaining failure. Stop rehearsing defeat. Stop thinking about what happens if it doesn't work. And start thinking about what happens if it does. What kind of life you could live. What kind of legacy you could leave. What kind of impact you could have. Because that's what's at stake. And none of that comes to life through a backup plan. It comes to life through relentless pursuit of your purpose. You weren't born with plan B in your DNA. You were born with greatness in your bones. You were created for something specific, something powerful, something meaningful. And every second you spend trying to hedge your bets, trying to play it safe, trying to straddle the fence, you're wasting time. You're draining energy. You're giving away pieces of your potential. So make the decision today, not tomorrow, not when you're ready. Right now, decide that your plan A is enough. That is worth the fight. That is worth the pain. That you'd rather die chasing what sets your soul on fire than live comfortable chasing nothing at all. Go all in. No backup, no exit, no retreat. Because when your plan is driven by purpose, the only direction is forward. You can't outsource the grind. You can't hire someone to sweat for you. You can't delegate the hunger. You can't pay somebody to want it for you. You got to get in the trenches yourself. You got to wake up when it's still dark. You've got to push when your legs are tired. You've got to bleed, cry, suffer, sacrifice. That's your job. That's your responsibility. That's your grind. And nobody can carry that load for you. We live in a world where everybody's looking for a shortcut. People want an app, a hack, a blueprint, something they can buy or copy. But success doesn't work like that. You can't download greatness. You gotta earn it. You can't borrow someone else's work ethic. You've gotta show up every single day with consistency, with commitment, with fire in your chest and discipline in your bones. Because that's what it takes to build something real. People hit me up like, hey, how do I get to where you are? And I tell them straight, you gotta want it like I wanted to breathe. You gotta be willing to sacrifice sleep, comfort, distractions, popularity, all of it. You gotta be willing to show up when nobody knows your name, when nobody's clapping, when nobody sees you grinding. That's where it starts. That's the secret nobody wants to talk about. Everybody sees the shine, but they don't want the shadow. Everybody wants the reward, but they avoid the routine. You can't fake the grind. You can't post a quote and call it work. You can't just talk about it. You gotta be about it. Real effort, real sweat, real time invested. That means late nights and early mornings. That means staying in when your friends are out. That means turning your phone off, locking in and doing the work. Even when it's boring, even when you feel like quitting. Too many of you are romanticizing the dream, but not respecting the grind. Not respecting the grind. You've created this image in your head of what success looks like. The cars, the house, the applause. But you forgot about the dirt. You forgot about the isolation. You forgot about the 10,000 reps it takes to get one shot. If you want to wear the crown, you've got to carry the weight. If you want the spotlight, you got to be willing to perform in the dark first. The grind is personal. Nobody can want it for you. Nobody can do your push-ups. Nobody can take your losses, learn your lessons, or fight your battles. This journey is yours. And until you understand that, you'll keep waiting for somebody else to save you. But they won't, because they can't, and they shouldn't. This is your dream, your calling, your responsibility. You gotta own it. And let me tell you something, the grind is not a season. It's a lifestyle. It doesn't stop when you get a little success. It doesn't ease up when people start recognizing your name. If anything, it gets harder because now the expectations are higher. Now the pressure is heavier. And the only way to sustain it is to keep grinding like you're still broke, still hungry, still unknown. That's how champions are made. That's how legacies are built. You want to be great? Then put your name on your grind. Stamp it with your DNA. Stop looking sideways. Stop comparing your journey. Stop thinking somebody else has it easier. They don't. They just learned to love the grind. They found a way to wake up every day and attack their goals like their life depended. It does. Your grind is not just about achieving success. It's about becoming someone new. It's about building resilience, sharpening discipline, and learning who you really are. when the pressure's on. It's about showing yourself that you can be consistent when it's not convenient, that you can sacrifice for a dream that nobody else understands, that you can believe in yourself even when everything around you says quit. You can't outsource that process. You can't pay somebody to give you your identity. You've got to earn it through every rep, every rejection, every lonely night. That's where character is built. That's where real transformation happens. Not in the spotlight, but in the shadows. Not on stage, but in silence. Not in the applause, but in the repetition nobody sees. So stop looking for someone to carry you. Stop waiting for a savior. Stop hoping it'll get easier. It won't. But you'll get stronger. You'll get smarter. You'll get tougher. And if you stay in the ground long enough, you'll wake up one day and realize you built something. You didn't wish it. You didn't hope it. You didn't hope it. You worked it. You grinded for it. And that grind, that struggle, that process, that's the proof you were serious. That's the receipt. So when people ask you how you made it, you don't need to explain. You just smile and say, I never outsourced the grind. I owned it every single step. When you dream big, you stop playing small. You stop shrinking who you are just to make other people comfortable. You stop apologizing for your ambition. You stop watering down your fire because somebody else can't handle the heat. When you dream big, you don't fit into the world. You shift it. You stretch it. You bend it around the greatness inside of you. You don't conform to the environment. You rise up and transform it. You bring your whole self, your full self, your bold self. Too many of you are afraid to be big, afraid to take up space, afraid to walk into a room with your chest out, your head high, your voice loud. And why? Because somewhere along the way, someone told you that you are too much, too intense, too loud, too passionate. But let me tell you something. The world doesn't need you to dim your light. The world needs your flame. The world needs your voice. The world needs your dream. And not the small, safe version, the real one, the big one. If your dream doesn't scare you, stretch you, and challenge you, it's not big enough. If it doesn't make people look at you crazy, if it doesn't keep you up at night thinking, how in the world am I going to do this? Then it's not your full dream. It's a version you edited to fit your fears. But your gift wasn't meant to live in a box. You weren't born to be average. You were born to disrupt, to lead, to elevate. But you can't elevate when you keep shrinking. You can't break chains while hiding in the shadows. I know what it feels like to want to fit in. I know what it feels like to downplay who you are because you're afraid of being judged. But let me tell you, there's nothing noble about shrinking. There's nothing powerful about playing small. Playing small doesn't serve the world. Playing small doesn't unlock your potential. Playing small keeps you broken and bitter. You've got to rise. You've got to expand. You got to take the risk of being fully you, because only then will you walk in your purpose. You don't change the world by being who they expect. You change the world by being who you were created to be. Unapologetically, authentically, bold. When you dream big, you stop asking for permission. You stop waiting for approval. You stop needing validation. You walk in rooms like you belong there, because you do. You speak like you've got something to say, because you do. You move like your dream matters, because it does. Dreaming big means thinking beyond your current environment. It means seeing more than what's in front of you. It means refusing to let your zip code define your destiny. You may have been born in struggle, born in poverty, born in pain, but you don't have to stay there. Your dream is the key. And if you protect it, if you nurture it, if you commit to it every day, it will pull you out of that place and launch you into purpose. But it won't happen if you're scared to expand. If you keep adjusting your dream to fit other people's opinions, if you keep second guessing your gifts, if you keep making yourself smaller so others can feel bigger. Let me be clear. Your dream is not up for negotiation. Your calling is not up for compromise. When you dream big, you don't lower your expectations. You raise your standard. You surround yourself with people who stretch you, not suppress you. People who push you to grow, not guilt you into shrinking. Every time you expand into your dream, you give someone else permission to do the same. Every time you take a risk, every time you step into the unknown, every time you go after something massive, you show somebody watching that's possible, that it can be done. And that ripple, That's impact, that's legacy. That's how you change the world. Not by playing it safe, but by playing full out. And let me tell you something else. When you expand, it's uncomfortable, it's unfamiliar, it's scary. Growth always is. Because you're stepping out of what you know and into who you're meant to become. You're stepping into a version of yourself that can handle the weight of your dream. And that requires stretching. That requires pain. That requires transformation. But it's worth it every single time. So stop trying to squeeze your dream into a box that was never meant to hold it. Stop minimizing your voice to make other people feel secure. Stop shrinking your potential because somebody else couldn't see it. You weren't given a dream just to hide it. You weren't given a gift just to bury it. You were given both to build something, to impact people, to change lives. And that only happens when you go big, not half-hearted, not halfway, all in, fully committed, fully present, fully expand.